Coming up on WFT Midday, one of Hollywood's all-time greats found dead in his New Mexico home. We take a look back at the life and legacy of Gene Hackman.
Plus, hundreds of Palestinian prisoners freed in the first phase of the ceasefire deal in Gaza. What it will take to get the remaining prisoners and hostages on both sides home safely.
Also, the first measles death in years has been reported, and cases are popping up in other areas. What medical experts say could be causing the outbreak. WUFT Midday starts right now.
You're watching WUFT Midday.
Two-time Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman has died. Officers in New Mexico found the bodies of Hackman, his wife, and their dog. This is WUFT Midday. I'm Carle.
And I'm Avlontis. Officials say the cause of death has not been determined, but foul play is not suspected. As Gadi Schwartz reports, tributes are already pouring in for the Hollywood star.
If the car chase scene in The French Connection set the gold standard for all Hollywood chases to follow, then its star, Gene Hackman, has come to define what a true actor is. With the uncanny ability to vanish into any role, Hackman drew from within to put nuance into all the tough guy roles he portrayed.
All right, Popeye's here.
Is that gun just for show?
A child of a broken home who lied about his age so he could join the Marines, Hackman worked many odd jobs, all to finance auditions.
Every day was like a new challenge. It was going out and trying to get that job and doing those auditions, and I loved it.
Kicked out of the Pasadena Playhouse, it wasn't until Hackman was 36, playing the simple-minded Buck Barrow in Bonnie and Clyde, when Hollywood took notice. Soon after, his tough-as-nails good cop, Popeye Doyle, in The French Connection earned him his first Oscar.
The prestige involved with an Oscar means that you have been in a couple of films that have made some money and that they can take a chance on you.
And Hollywood kept taking chances. Hackman won his second Oscar for playing a bad cop in 1992's Unforgiven.
Misfire.
But he felt the tough guy roles never really pushed him.
We're cast so close to type in films that you can only do so much within your own persona.
I hope you're hungry. I could eat a horse. Radish.
Towards the end of his career, Hackman found he preferred comedy for the challenge.
Comedy's harder because, you know, it isn't arbitrary. If they don't laugh, it doesn't work.
And the problem is?
Always shrugging off the label of movie star, Hackman remained an actor in his own words.
I guess movie star is Robert Redford and Paul Newman and kind of guys that I idolized or visualized when I was a real young guy.
Moving to Santa Fe after retiring, Hackman continued to work as a novelist, publishing his 5th book in 2013, always letting his actions speak for him on the written page and the silver screen. Gadi Schwartz, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Hollywood is also mourning the loss of Michelle Trachtenberg. The actress was best known as a child star on The Adventures of Pete and Pete, as well as her roles in Gossip Girl and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Police responded to a 911 call Wednesday just after 8 a.m. and found Trachtenberg unresponsive inside a Manhattan apartment. Her death does not appear to be suspicious, with officials stating the actress had recently been dealing with an undisclosed medical issue. Trachtenberg was 39 years old.
Released Palestinian prisoners arrived at a European hospital in the Gaza Strip early today, where they are set to undergo medical examinations. The director of nursing at the hospital released a statement saying the prisoners are in a state of severe emaciation and some of them cannot walk due to the severity of beating and torture they were subjected to. This comes as Israel begins releasing the remaining 642 Palestinian detainees scheduled to be freed in the first phase of the ceasefire deal. Hamas said on Thursday that it was ready to start talks on the second phase and that the only way remaining hostages would be freed is through commitment to the ceasefire. Now let's get over to WUFT's Jadyn Bottini for a glance at your midday weather forecast. Jadyn, you're expecting the warm weather to continue as we head into the weekend?
That's right. Our warm trends are going to continue. Some colder air is going to push through later this week, but it is not here to stay. In fact, it's looking pretty sunny out there. Not too many clouds, 76 degrees, light winds about 6 miles per hour. Temperatures comfortable in the 70s, 73 in Gainesville, 76 in Ocala, 73 in the Villages, 71 in Jacksonville. And as we continue to warm up, our temperatures increase over 24 hours, up 2 degrees in Gainesville, 4 in Ocala, and 5 in the Villages. Tonight at 6 p.m. it will be 72 degrees. By midnight we'll be down to 58, and by 4 a.m. it will be at 57 degrees. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the warm month we have ahead, a slight drop in temperatures tomorrow, and another front approaching on Sunday.
The first measles death has been reported in Lubbock, Texas. WUFT's Aiden Wacksman joins us now to give us the specifics on that case, along with a new case now reported in the Lone Star State.
Maria, it's the first measles death reported in a decade in Texas. The victim, an unvaccinated school-age child. And now an individual living in Rockwall County tested positive for the disease after traveling out of the country. The Texas Department of State Health Services says the patient is an unvaccinated adult who traveled to Asia. Rockwall County officials learned Tuesday night that the resident tested positive for the measles. While officials believe this is an isolated incident, they still recommend precaution.
We would always encourage everyone to take the precautions that they feel are necessary, whether that's vaccination or simply the standard precautions you take for any communicable disease, such as washing your hands, stay home if you're sick.
So far, 124 cases of measles have been confirmed in the outbreak since late January. Most of the cases are in children. The Centers for Disease Control recommend children have 2 doses of the measles vaccine before age 7. Live in the studio, Aiden Wacksman, WUFT News.
Another key ally heads to the White House today to meet with President Trump, a day after the president held the first cabinet meeting of his second term. NBC's Alice Barr is in Washington with the latest.
President Trump hosting the UK Prime Minister today at the White House says a battle over foreign aid reached the Supreme Court overnight. Chief Justice John Roberts temporarily blocked a lower court's midnight deadline for the Trump administration to release $2 billion in funds frozen since January. Foreign aid groups had sued to continue their work and pay already due vendors. The Supreme Court weighing next steps, asking both sides for more information by tomorrow.
We put together a great cabinet.
In President Trump's first cabinet meeting Wednesday, cuts to USAID took center stage, along with Elon Musk.
With USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately, and there was no interruption.
What Elon Musk said today was just categorically untrue.
Dr. Craig Spencer, who survived Ebola in 2014, tracks outbreaks around the world and says people who would normally
set up border screening to do the contact tracing on the ground, they're not getting paid.
President Trump defended deep spending cuts as NBC News obtained a new budget office memo giving agency heads 2 weeks to submit plans for mass layoffs.
We're cutting down the size of government. We have to. We're bloated. We're sloppy.
The president and Musk again defending that email directing federal employees to list what they did last week, warning that employees who have not yet replied may still be fired, even as some cabinet members at the table had initially told employees not to respond. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. The 3 words being reinforced by Alachua County, which is inviting residents to a recycling challenge starting in March. With over $2,000 in cash and prizes, the race is an incentive to learn about proper recycling, conservation awareness, and eco-friendly techniques. Event coordinators say that the event serves 2 purposes.
You're learning, but you're also playing. So it's edutainment, if you will.
The scavenger hunt will last 3 months. The winning team will receive a cash prize of $750, and the rest of the money will be distributed in prizes throughout the event. You can still sign up for free on the recycling page in the Alachua County website.
Gainesville's One Love Cafe is hosting a farmers market that's helping small businesses. They will be hosting this market every Tuesday night. One Love Market offers vendors a place to sell homemade goods to the community. There are other popular markets throughout the week, but this is the first one happening on Tuesdays. For $25, vendors can come and set up shop and sell their products to locals. Visitors can experience live music, craft beer tasting, and visit the vendors on site. The market also serves as a way for community members to connect with each other. Vendors like Mark DeMarkin enjoy the experience the market provides to the community.
So far for a new market, it's going quite well. I mean, it's really nice. They've got the restaurant with, you know, beer and the live music.
One Love Cafe is hosting the farmers market from 4 to 7 in Magnolia Park.
Newberry Elementary will convert into a charter school. It comes after the state's Charter School Review Commission approved the school's application. This change to the elementary school comes out after over a year of efforts from the community and a recommendation from the Florida Charter School Institute just over a month ago. Now that the school has the approval it's been looking for, it's outlined some of its priorities moving forward, which include the search for a new principal and their plan to start welcoming students in fall 2026. We received a statement Wednesday from Alachua County Public Schools that reads, ACPS is aware of the Florida Charter Review Commission's decision today to approve the conversion of Newberry Elementary School to a charter school starting in the 2026-27 school year. Newberry's Elementary's leadership and staff will remain focused on meeting the needs of the students, ensuring they continue to receive a high-quality education.
Now let's take a live look at our DOT traffic camera over Paynes Prairie. Both traffic and skies looking clear along US 441. Weather also appears to be warming up this Thursday afternoon. WUFT forecaster Jadyn Bottini has more on this increasing warmth.
That's right, skies are clear and our warmer trend is continuing. There will be some fronts pushing through with cooler air, but that air will not stick around. In fact, we're looking ahead to a very warm March. All of this area in the red, orange, and yellow are above average temperatures for the month of March. We're expecting a very cool month, a very warm month ahead. And this warm is happening because of the subtropical jet stream being raised to the north. That's keeping all of these locations down here and in the west very warm in both the eastern and western United States. Looking at campus right now, skies are pretty clear, only a couple of clouds out there, 76 degrees, winds about 6 miles per hour. It's shaping up to be a beautiful day as we continue this warm temperature trend. Temperatures 75 in Gainesville, 76 in Ocala and the Villages, 74 in Jacksonville, and 75 in St. Augustine. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have a front head our way, but it's not going to cause a significant cool down. Our low temperatures tomorrow morning, 53 in Gainesville, 54 in Ocala, 55 in the Villages and St. Augustine. And our highs tomorrow still getting into the 70s, 74 in Gainesville, 76 in Ocala, 76 in the Villages, 72 in Jacksonville. So what's causing the front to push through is going to be this low pressure system in the north. This cold front is attached to it, and it's going to head and make its way all the way over to us. Here's the timing of that system. Today at 1 p.m., it's entering the Panhandle. Tonight, it's right there over us, and it'll clear up by tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. It's already off the East Coast. But as we head into the weekend, there's another front following it. It's going to pass through on Sunday, but again, this isn't going to cause a significant cool down for us. Our warm trends will continue. There will just be a little bit of a pause as these fronts approach. Checking out our temperatures, 51 in Gainesville Friday at 6 a.m., 54 in Ocala. As we head into Friday afternoon, still in the 70s, 71 in Gainesville, 71 in Ocala, staying in the 60s towards Live Oak, Perry, and Jacksonville. And as we head into Saturday, this is when our temperatures drop just a little bit, 45 in Gainesville, 45 in Ocala, 49 in Jacksonville, but we will still be warming up to the 70s this weekend. Saturday, 74 by 2 p.m., sunny skies Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, we're seeing 71 degrees as that second front approaches, just a slight cool down, more of just a pause in our warm trend. And as spring approaches, so does the pollen. Today, we're at a pretty high pollen count, 10.9. This means grains of pollen per cubic meter of air. And Saturday, that pollen count's going to drop just a little, but Monday, we're back up to 10, so be prepared for the pollen to approach. As we look at next week, tomorrow, there's a high of 74, Saturday, high of 75, slight drop in temperatures on Sunday as that second front approaches, high of 71. As we head into next week, we'll be back in the 70s with a slight chance of showers on Wednesday.
Now let's head over to our Noticias partners for a look at today's top stories for our Spanish language audience.
Hola, soy Sofia Matute con tus noticias en 90 segundos. El presidente Donald Trump anunció que terminará el permiso de Chevron para extraer y exportar petróleo venezolano. Trump citó condiciones electorales incumplidas por el régimen de Nicolás Maduro. También observó un descontento con el ritmo de transporte de inmigrantes venezolanos indocumentados. Delcy Rodríguez, la vicepresidenta de Venezuela, dijo que las sanciones contra Chevron perjudicarán a los Estados Unidos y ponen en duda la seguridad jurídica del régimen internacional de las inversiones del país. El primer ministro del Reino Unido está en Washington, D.C. para convencer al presidente Donald Trump de proporcionar refuerzos a Ucrania. La reunión entre Trump y el ministro Keir Starmer será el privado este día de hoy. Starmer voló al Capitolio horas después de que Trump presionó al primer ministro para incrementar sus gastos en defensa de un 2,5%. Starmer aprobó la decisión llamando lo necesario para contrarrestar a tiranos como el presidente Vladimir Putin. También dijo que está preparado para asignar tropas británicas una misión de paz, pero cree que no será exitoso sin las promesas vitales de los Estados Unidos. En respuesta, el presidente Putin anunció que Rusia necesita prevenir lo que ha calificado como intentos de las élites occidentales de sabotear y un posible acercamiento entre Moscú y Washington. Los precios de McDonald's no serán influenciados por el aumento del valor de los huevos. El gigante de la comida rápida no está cobrando más por sus productos del desayuno y ofrecerá una promoción de McMuffin por $1 el 2 de marzo para celebrar el 50 aniversario de este artículo en el menú. La gripe aviar ha provocado la muerte de más de 140 millones de aves, según el Departamento de Agricultura. Esto ha llevado a cadenas como Waffle House y Denny's a subir los precios de los platos que incluyen en huevos. Además, otras compañías han puesto límite al consumo de este alimento. Esas fueron tus noticias en 90 segundos. Gracias por sintonizarnos.
New reports out today provide hard data about the state of the U.S. economy, including updates on U.S. GDP, mortgage rates, pending home sales, and jobless claims. Amy Kiley has the story.
Americans are starting to see a new economic reality under President Donald Trump. Take tariffs, for instance, with Trump confirming yesterday he still plans to impose 25% duties on Mexican and Canadian imports. Tariffs on Chinese goods are in place now, and Trump says reciprocal ones are in the works.
It is a drive to bring back manufacturing, to protect our great jobs here.
Economists say tariffs support domestic producers by making U.S. businesses pay extra for imports. In light of new ones, Apple and Eli Lilly say they're investing billions of dollars in U.S. manufacturing. On the other hand, recent surveys show tariffs are causing concern about inflation.
Consumers are telling us that they're getting a bit more worried about the future.
Republican efforts to lower the deficit are making waves too.
And the new reality is less government, more efficiency, better return for the taxpayers.
Part of that is a new House resolution that calls for massive and controversial spending cuts. It also contains sweeping tax breaks that aren't sitting well with some fiscal hawks.
The deficit's going to go up.
Large-scale layoffs of federal workers are another part of the plan to reduce spending. Some analysts worry they could backfire.
Are literally some of the firings just in the federal government, which has 10 million workers, is that going to be enough to cause a recession?
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
To egg prices, McDonald's isn't cracking under pressure. The fast food giant says it will not be raising prices on breakfast items, including those that use eggs. An ongoing avian flu has resulted in the deaths of more than 140 million egg-laying birds, according to the Department of Agriculture. The issue has caused some restaurants, including Waffle House and Denny's, to boost the prices of meals that include eggs. Some retailers have even placed limits on the number of eggs a consumer can get. Despite this, McDonald's remains committed to their current prices for now. Now let's get over to WUFT First at 5 anchor Alex Land with a look at what's coming up on First at 5 on Channel 5.
Thanks, Ciara. We're following 3 top stories for you tonight. An Ocala man is released from jail after being falsely accused, while the man wrongfully spent 5 years behind bars. And a controversial political activist is making a stop at the University of Florida. We'll catch you up on Charlie Kirk's speech that's happening now. And Governor Ron DeSantis speaks in Stark, what he says to a graduating State Guard class coming up. That's all for your First at 5 preview. I'm Alex Land. See you tonight.
Before we go, one last check on the weather.
Our warm trend is continuing, a high of 74 tomorrow as we head into the weekend. Slight cool down, a high of 71 on Sunday. Next week we'll be in the mid to upper 70s with a slight chance of showers on Wednesday.
Thanks for joining us today for WUFT Midday. We're back here tomorrow for another edition.
We will see you later today for First at 5 on Channel 5. Have a great afternoon.